though the West feels that it's a target of ISIS, which is true, the way that ISIS has targeted the Muslim world has no precedent in recent times. And so I know from when I was in Syria in 2012, 2013, there are people I was with, I lived with, stayed with their families for several months, were butchered by ISIS, literally beheaded and killed. And so it's not just a condemn for the sake of condemning, which I won't do, but it's a personal experience I've had. And so when I talk about people who've like that, who've come across the scene, they're in the context of something bigger. An invasion, an occupation, people being imprisoned, people being tortured. Majority of, I mean, even the leaders of ISIS, I've studied this to some degree, and the leaders of ISIS, 17 of ISIS's 25 leaders were imprisoned by the Americans in Camp Bukka, and tortured and abused at a time when torture and abuse was rampant in Abu Ghraib and other places. So the effects of torture and the effects of abuse and occupation and colonization and all of those things will, for a surety, produce that kind of response.
But can you definitively say that the torture caused ISIS in the years to 2012?
No, I can't. I can't say that it's only the torture. No, there are a series of things that made that happen. There is the internecine warfare between the Shiites and the Sunnis. There's the hatred. If you look at the hatred that exists between the Sunnis, or some of the Sunnis, the ISIS Sunnis in Iraq against the Shiites, there's a history, whether it goes back to Saddam's torture of the Shiites and their retribution after they come in power, or vice versa. And it's still going on now. There's retribution from the Shiites against the Sunnis, and it's non-stop. And the torture, the level of torture is horrific from both sides. People being skewered like kebabs and skinned alive.
Why so horrific?
It's hard to put a finger on it, but what I can say is that torture and abuse and these sorts of violations breed the same thing. And it takes a very, very brave man to come along and say that he's prepared to forgive for the stage next. I don't think anybody's prepared to forgive, not the Americans, not the British, not the Iraqis, not the Saudis. I've yet to come across a nation that says, okay, I'm prepared to forgive to move forward.
Continue watching this fascinating conversation for free by clicking on the link below to visit our website, learn from the best minds in the world, and connect with a community of passionate people building the best versions of themselves. Just click on the link below, and I'll see you on the inside.